Please subscribe and share this video with your friends.
Hi, it's Adam Lyons and we're here at the Dating Den. I'm here with Marni Battista and today we're going to be talking about if you're shy, what are signals that you can give a guy?
I really like this one because we're talking about the shy girl. We get a ton of emails like, how do I pursue a guy? But I think if you're introverted or you're shy, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're not lovable. So we wanted to give you some specific tips just for your style, because that's your style, to help you pursue a guy. So you said there's some study and there's like 70 ways you can let a guy know that you're interested on the DL.
Yeah, so they did this stuff, it was like back in the 70s.
Okay.
And they identified over 50 different, possibly more, ways that a female can show a guy that she's interested.
Okay.
And I find that most girls know them all subconsciously.
Okay.
But probably actively can only think of about 3 or 4.
Right.
And when you're shy and you're introverted, it can actually be really useful to know some of these so you can consciously take a choice to, I suppose, beat back the shyness and go and approach.
Because you do have to beat back the shyness, so to speak, because one of the things that we were talking about is that if you don't do any of these things and you just stand there and cross your fingers and hope a guy is going to pursue you,
it's just not gonna happen.
Your chances are very much diminished. So what we're trying to do is allow you to open up to the possibility of what's the least threatening sort of thing that you could do, knowing that for you it might feel really big, but there are small, subtle things. So what's one thing they can do?
Yeah, so I think one of the first things that somebody should be doing is eliciting aid. And I know you mentioned you spoke about this in one of the previous episodes, but guys love to be a savior. We all like to be the white knight charging in and rescuing the maiden in distress. And so if you can give him a problem that he can solve, he's going to really enjoy being that guy for you. And and it can be something simple like oh no, my bracelet's come undone. Could you please help me?
Could you hook my bracelet? Okay.
Yeah, or help my dress. It needs.
Oh yeah, could you help me zip up the last little bit of my dress?
Yeah.
Or a necklace clasp?
Completely. Anything that is a little bit too difficult for her to do on her own. In fact, it works really well at a bar.
Yeah.
Where you can give someone some cash.
Yeah.
And say, hey, would you mind grabbing my drink?
I feel invisible. You're like tall. Would you mind getting my drink?
Completely, yeah. And make sure you've got the money in your hand, because otherwise he's going to think you're trying to get a free drink. So a subtle difference.
Oh yeah, that's very good advice.
Yeah,
okay,
you
that's
make
cool.
Sure you do that. But yeah, so something like that's going to be a really good way of asking for aid and getting them to be able to talk to you.
Okay.
One of the other ones that I really enjoy, and we were speaking about it just before we started recording, is you can bump into somebody and like break that personal space.
So it's the intentional bump.
Yeah, exactly. And it can be, it can be very simple. If you're at the bar, you can just, backwards leaning into them or what have you. And then instantly just turn around and tap on the arm and be like, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to bump into you. And then the guy's got this opportunity to say, no, it's no problem. Actually, I don't mind. At which point you're in. Or he can be like, it's fine.
No problem. You know what's cool about this too? I'm always looking for like the double win. You walk into a place and you're like, it's so crowded. This is so annoying, right? You can be like, it's awesome. It's so crowded. I can practice bumping into guys all night long.
It's great. I actually love that. I spent a long time when I was younger, so I was learning to do this for myself, going to really busy clubs and perfecting the art of the awkward trying to pass each other in a corridor. I can now do it on purpose. And it took a long time, and I did that for a while. I would go into a club and I'd walk down the corridors or what have you. And then when I saw a cute girl walking the other way, I would do that awkward, oh no, who's going past who kind of thing, just to start an interaction.
So you could do that. That's one also.
Yeah, it's like, exactly. It's exactly a really simple way of sort of like moving. It takes a while to get used to being that kind of awkward, I suppose. I trained myself to be awkward. It's a good thing to admit.
If you're going to be awkward, just embrace it and do it on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. That was my style. But it worked really well. The amount of times that girls would just start laughing, and then I'd be like, you know what, let's just hug. You
know what? I was just thinking, Jason, our online brand manager at Dating, he met his wife from the bump.
There you go.
And it totally started this whole conversation because she was like, are you being fresh or are you like flirting with me? And he was like, I didn't know what you looked like when I bumped into you, but I'd love to like come hang out with me. Right? So it totally works. What about, I love this one, the lipstick or the lip gloss thing.
So they studied these signs that girls give to a male to show they're interested, and one of them is reapplying lip gloss or lipstick while maintaining eye contact.
So that's really important because it's not this looking. It's not.
No. Yeah. It's while maintaining eye contact.
Okay.
There's also things like pushing your hair back to expose more flesh. In fact, anything you do that exposes more skin, and that doesn't mean get your breasts out or what have you. It just means anything where if you can think of like a mat being put over the body and you're just slowly exposing more skin, whether it's by moving the hair away or maybe, by readjusting a top or just a little bit of extra leg. Anything where the amount of flesh being shown suddenly increases, if the male is watching the flesh space increase, even by a tiny amount, his
flesh space will increase?
Yeah, that's very clever. That was good. Yeah, and so he'll notice that.
Okay.
And there are things like, smiling, having a slight tilt to the head.
What's about the smiling and the eye contact? Because it's really important. I know this is so hard if you're shy, but you can't, otherwise they'll think you have something in your contact. So how do you do it specifically?
The coy smile.
The coy smile.
Which essentially is staring at the guy.
Okay.
And then when he locks eye contact, smiling and looking away.
Okay.
And
so you have to wait for him to notice.
Yeah, and the minute
and then you have to hold it, it's really uncomfortable, and then hold it, and then you can look away.
Yeah, and for a girl, there really is no such thing as a creepy stare. Like, you can stare as long as you like, and you're not going to get, no one's going to really think that's weird or give you a negative reaction. And also remember,
what's the worst thing that could happen? So let's say you do the look, and he's not really interested in you, because some of them will think that they might die. Okay, so what's going to happen?
The very worst thing that will happen is the guy will kind of notice you looking, and he'll sort of be like, and then give you like some kind of, I suppose consolation smile,
right.
Sort of like, and then walk away. And that's about as bad as
That's it. That's all. You're not going to die. That's not a big deal.
Yeah, I suppose if you want to get like, I suppose a girl's worst fear, the worst thing that could possibly happen, and I'm going to tell you how to solve it as well, is that a guy might decide to try and mess with you.
Okay.
And he's out with his friends, and one of his friends like, look, that girl's kind of staring at you.
Okay.
Dude, you should go and totally mess with her. That's not the worst thing that can happen. And there's a lot of reasons for it. One, we're going back into that kindergarten kind of era. And if the guy's coming over to mess with you, there's actually a good chance that he does like you. Or at least his friend likes you, or someone there likes you.
Someone likes you. Yeah. It's like pulling on your pigtails.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Otherwise, they wouldn't have bothered doing it. And so when they come over and they do something, the key there is to not get hurt or upset about it, but to kind of like play back. Give as good as you get. Okay. And so if guys are coming over and they're making it, they're trying to be funny or they're trying to be weird, just totally throw it straight back at them. Whether that.
Like, what would you say?
Well, I actually see a lot of girls do this in bars, and they can be really good at it. One of my favorite ones are actually to be kind of like pre-armed with puzzles and riddles. Okay. And so what happens is when the guys give you trouble, you can sort of like be like, I'm not going to talk to anybody who, has the same IQ as my dog. And then the guy's going to be like, excuse me? And because guys like that, like that's how guys banter with each other. They'll be playing and insulting each other. So when you throw that back to them, the guy's like, really? Like, and he's going to start trying to show off. And at that point, once he's tried to explain to you, I don't know, my friend calls it mansplaining. She goes, once he's mansplained how great he is and how awesome he is, she's like, you can then throw him straight under the bus by giving him some kind of riddle that's really difficult to solve.
This is very specific and strategic. I like it.
Yeah, and you can Google them to find them. There's one that actually one of my friends got my girlfriend with the other day. He gave her the Einstein problem. Okay. Which is a really difficult puzzle. And she literally she wouldn't go out. She spent 4 hours sitting indoors trying to solve this puzzle. So
you don't want him to get not interested.
Well, remember, this is a guy who's trying to mess with you.
So you do want to give him a healthy distraction.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to give him something that's nothing to view that he's now caught up trying to prove how great he is. And
and then you're also having a conversation. I love it.
The puzzle keeps them busy, and it stops them being focused on trying.
So men are like children. Okay.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I love this. So ladies, if you are shy, if you are introverted, we have taken away all your excuses. And remember, there is no such thing as the creepy stare.
Completely.
And you will not die. All right. If you want to find Adam, it's the Date Coach.
The Dating Coach.
TheDatingCoach.com. You can find us at datingwithdignity.com. And we will see you very soon. Love you. Bye.